What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. My guest today is chef and tattoo artist Lance Pfaff. Pfaff. Okay. It's all right. It happens.
It's coming.
I've gotten people's names wrong that I've known for like 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, so I apologize, sir.
I introduced myself as Lance.
Any relation to the Pfaff? How do you say it?
Pfaff.
Pfaff.
Yeah, like dog's paw with an F.
Okay, what's that? German? All right. Shoot, man. Thanks for coming. Where you living now? It's a little bit of a mission.
Just outside Guelph, north of Rockwood, in the country living now.
Yeah, you liking that?
Loving it.
Yeah.
Love it.
You were living in Guelph before.
Yeah. I've lived in Guelph for the last 6 years.
So what did you buy a house out there? Or are you renting?
We're renting, yeah. Big property, big gorgeous house. Large enough this guy has two 1,100 square foot walkout basement apartments plus his house.
Oh, sick.
That's giant property. It's amazing. It's got a big pool we're allowed to use.
And you live with Christina?
Yep.
Out there?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are a good couple, man.
Thanks.
And I remember we were all working together, and I don't know, I guess dating coworkers was somewhat frowned upon.
Yeah.
And Manly, I'm going to throw him under the bus, but Manly had mentioned, like, to me, that, like, oh, when you guys just started seeing each other, and he said something to me, and I was just like, oh, really? And then it was either that day, sometime, like, shortly after that, I was talking to you, and Christina came in, and, like, I don't know, I just saw you guys look at each other. It was very, like, it didn't really seem like anything was happening, so I was like, no way, and in my mind, I was like, no way. And so I was just like, man, she's hot to you. And you were just like, yeah, she is. And then right then, I was like, oh, all right, I see it. But yeah, man, you guys are a fucking good couple. How long have you guys been together now?
3.5 years? 4 years?
4 years. It's decent, man.
After Kay was born, I was like, I need to reevaluate my priorities.
Yeah.
And working 70 hours a week wasn't a priority to me at that time.
Yeah.
And I got a good... Well, there's another story I can tell you about my exit there, but... and then I got a good offer to do a prep gig with a buddy of mine, so it seemed more conducive to having a kid.
Man, prep, I'm going to be real. Like, when I first started in kitchens, I was like, oh, that's where, like, the crappy people go. Like, people in prep aren't good. But then, as I started doing, like, my schedule is just all over the place. It's really hard to plan out a week or even 2 weeks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you got to plan things out months in advance when your schedule's all over the place. And, yeah, I don't know, shortly into, I guess, my career as a chef or whatever, I changed my thinking and was just kind of like, oh, I get it. These are the smart guys. These are the people that are doing other shit, you know? And yeah, especially now with doing comedy. Like, I haven't been in a kitchen in a while. Like, probably since beginning of last April. So I did a little bit of, like, landscaping and construction stuff. But I'm supposed to be starting work again Monday. But now, for the company I was working for before COVID, but now they've, like, I guess the place I was working at before, that building's, like they don't own it anymore. Like, they switched. Everything kind of got downgraded for, you know, the last year or whatever. And now that things are kind of booming again, they have to expand, and they got a new facility, but it's in fucking North York. And I just don't know. Like, I don't drive, right?
Yeah, that's a big commute.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I only ever tried to get into the industry once, and I caused $3,500 of damage to a laminator and got fired, so that was kind of the extent of that adventure.
So what happened?
I was working at a print company, and it was an accident. The shift I was working, I was late, and my responsibility was I was a finisher, so I was to make up time for the other finisher who was really slow. So they'd put me on these 10-hour shifts 4 days a week where I'd be by myself from 5 until midnight to finish things that the other guy couldn't finish. He was very meticulous. So I would have to power through these things, and it was late. I was going on vacation, so I was there until 2 in the morning, and I was cleaning up, and I had the laminator broken down, and there's these big industrial laminators, and I had a Exacto blade out because I was cutting off the trim to break down the machine, and I tripped over the foot pedal, and I scraped the roller on the laminator. It was just a small scrape, and I panicked, turned everything back on, ran a couple things through. I didn't see any marks, so I was like, okay, it's fine. And then I turned it all down, and I left, and I went on vacation. And I came back, and the manager sat me down. It's like, you cost $3,500 damage to a laminator. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, you tried to hide it from me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you scratched the roller. I'm like, yeah, but I ran a couple things through. Everything's scratched in here. Like, I don't get it. He's like, those are heated rollers. So as it cools down and heats up, that scratch is going to turn into a crater, which is going to show up on the prints. So we have to replace the rollers, and that's $3,500. And I wanted to hire a delivery driver this month, and you just cost me that because I have to buy new rollers. So I have to fire you. Why did you hide it from me? I didn't know it was important.
Yeah.
Now after through that conversation, he's like, I gotta let you go. And I'm like, look, man, I've been a manager for years. I totally get it. Like, I get where you're coming from. No hard feelings. I took a pay cut coming here, so maybe it was a blessing in disguise. And then he changed his tune real quick. And he's like, oh, okay. Do you want to go say bye to everybody? Like, do you want to go, say bye to the guys? I'm like, yeah, sure. Except I didn't say bye to the guy that tattled on me, which was the other finisher. And why they thought I was lying and hiding it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bye to that guy either.
But I ended up moving out west right after that. So after getting fired, I called my brother because that's who I went to visit. He was living in Calgary, and I just said, you wanted me to come move in with you? I'm coming. I moved out west.
Yeah, man. Fucking Exacto knives are definitely something I just dread using. I try to avoid using them. I've had a lot of accidents with Exacto knives. I stabbed myself in the hand here. Had to get like a bunch of stitches, and like I still don't really have any feeling in between, I guess, my index finger and my thumb.
See that? That was from an Exacto knife.
Yeah, dude, they're horrible. The worst one though, well, actually, see, it's funny. Where's this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one, I was like probably like 19, late teens, and I was working at. Actually, I have a lot of injuries at this place now that I'm thinking about it. But I was working at this company that made like the foam padding that goes under like carpets or hardwood floors, like that kind of. It's used for other things. Like I think they lined bean bags and things like that. But it was just like a thin foam, right? And we would get these giant rolls, and basically my job was to take like the industrial size rolls and roll them into really small rolls that could be sold in like, Home Depot or whatever. And like I was selling drugs at the time, like ecstasy and stuff, weed. And I was working night shift. And there was probably about 4 people in the warehouse at nighttime. And I was just off in my own section. I always had like headphones on and just did my thing. It was super easy. And I don't know, one night I was like, I'm gonna fucking pop an ecstasy. And so I did. And I was like jamming out to some drum and bass. And like doing all these hand movements, like, the fucking ravers dance and shit. I don't know what I was doing. And like I was just kind of like walking over to like my roll to kind of change it because it was finished. And as I was like dancing, I fucking sliced my arm, just holding it. Like it was the most ridiculous thing, and I had to just fucking go and be like, make up. So I don't even remember what I said, but I obviously lied and wasn't like, yeah, I did this to myself because I'm fucking high and I was dancing, But I think the worst one here, same place, and basically we take these giant. The rolls were probably maybe about a meter in diameter. And they maybe like 1.5 meters tall. And we would stack them too high. And they were in these giant bags. And to get them out of the bags, if they were on the top, I would just like pull it to the side, hold my knife there. And as it fell, the bag, like the knife would cut it, and it would just like pop out of the bag. And that's how I did it for everyone for like months. And this one night, I wasn't high this time though. This one night I was doing that. And I pulled it. This row was against the wall, and I pulled it to the left, had my knife in the air, and all of a sudden it starts falling towards me. And like they're heavy, like I'm not stopping it. and the fucking knife goes right into my head. And, you know, I'm like fucking kind of fixing myself. And as I look up, there's like a pipe sticking out of the wall that kind of prevented it from falling where I wanted it to go. Yeah, but it was really close to my eye. That one could have been a lot worse.
That's scary.
You ever had any like bad injuries at work?
At work?
What's your worst injury at work?
Burns.
Burns, yeah. Standard stuff.
Yeah, the years ago, the worst one I ever got was a caramel burn on my hands. In the restaurant I was working at, the desserts were done at a prep hall, and the microwave was above a fridge. And the only thing we used it for was to warm up the caramel that went on one of the desserts. But someone had overwarmed it, and it had overflown into the microwave, and you couldn't see into it because it was so high. And I threw something in there, went and grabbed it, and I had caramel from here to here and here on my hand, and I couldn't get it off. So it was just burning and burning and burning. And the sous chef came in and wiped it off, and then it just took all the skin.
Yeah, for sure.
And I rinsed it, and I was holding it, and I was in a lot of pain. He's like, let me see it. So I show him, and he's got a bottle of peroxide behind his back, and he starts pouring the peroxide on my hand. And I just screamed at him. But that was worse. It's like taking my keys out of my pocket and things like that. It was just annoying and difficult, but it didn't scar. So
long time to heal though? How long did it take?
A couple months. It was like a few weeks before like I comfortably could just do things again. But I healed pretty quick, so it wasn't awful, and it didn't scar or anything, which surprised me because it was a pretty bad burn. But like I've nicked fingers. I've put like serrated knives, cutting buns, and put it into my fingers a couple times in my life, but nothing crazy.
You ever broke anything?
No, not that I know of. I have a weird rib where it feels like it's doing this in here. That maybe I did something when I was a kid.
And it just healed fucked up?
Yeah, I don't know. I used to climb shit all the time as a kid, so I've fallen out of trees, but I never thought I broke anything.
Fuck, man. Kevin, he, Muse?
Yeah.
He, like we do Muay Thai together, and I haven't been in, I don't know, maybe like a week and a half now. And like, granted, I've been busy. I wouldn't have been able to go every day anyway. But yeah, last time we were there, or I was there, I was just talking shit. Like I was holding pads for him, and I'm like fairly new to Muay Thai in general, but even newer to fucking holding pads. And I was just talking shit. And like Muse has got fucking power, dude. Like he's a fucking strong guy. And like he, you know, I was asking for like kicks and stuff, and like at the end of like do 5-minute rounds of pad work, and then at the end it's like a 10-10-10. So you do like 10 right kicks, 10 left kicks, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, like that kind of shit. And so we're doing that, and he's doing like his right kicks, his dominant leg, and I'm talking shit the whole time. I'd actually been talking shit earlier, like, oh, is there a fucking window open? Like, as if he was hitting me like a pussy. He never was. He was hitting strong the whole time, and I brought it on myself. I'm not really, good at holding pads yet. Like, decent. I could be worse, but I could be a lot better, Lots of room for improvement, and he just fucking nailed me when I had my elbow in between the belly pad and my ribs. And man, for like the last, little bit, it's just been so, like, it's just starting to feel better. Like every breath up until a couple days ago hurt, so, you live and you learn.
So that would have been a good bruise.
So
did it bruise? Did you
oh man, I don't think it actually showed up or anything. Like my girlfriend actually was like, maybe you should go to the hospital. I'm like, no, like I've broken my ribs before. It's not as painful. Like I feel like it's just bruised, but really I don't know. It's just, me guessing. Yeah, man. Did you pick up tattooing through the pandemic? When did you start doing that?
I bought my machine just before. It was like November or December that I bought.
That's fucking perfect timing,
yeah,
eh?
And then I just Christina made sure that I didn't just jump into tattooing myself. Mm-hmm. So I was tattooing fruit, just honeydew melons were my favorite thing to tattoo. So I was just practicing on those, just getting used to the machine, trying to find out how to set up the machines, like anything I should know about before I did anything in skin. I think it wasn't until after the pandemic started that I actually put any ink into skin. And then that was
That was the first one?
That was the first thing I did, was work on that, which was just a rework of something that was already there.
Yeah, yeah. Have you done any on Christina yet?
Yep, I've done a bunch, or a few little ones. She likes like fine line, like single needle stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess a lot of females do.
Yeah.
Which are actually really hard. They're just funny. And she's very particular. She's very controlling when it comes to these things, and it's
it's going on her too, I guess.
Exactly.
You know,
it's permanent in her skin. But she chooses like the style she likes is a very difficult style to master.
Mm-hmm.
Single needle line work, you have to have the right consistency, the right voltage, and you only get one pass, really.
Yeah.
Because especially with a single needle, like if you slip even a little bit going over that line again, it's gonna show.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done a few on her. A couple of them turned out really well. Some of the ones in the beginning, just learning how to get the proper needle depth. So there's a few with kind of inconsistent lines or blowouts, a couple little blowouts in them.
Mm-hmm.
Also changed the black ink that I was using into a better black ink that I really like now, and
Mm-hmm.
I that helped a lot. I almost never have any blowouts with this ink, so.
It's all a learning process, man. I mean, you got to start somewhere. The important thing is that you're fucking started. Or that you've started, and seems like you're enjoying it. I think you're really good, man. I've always appreciated that kind of stuff, and I've never, obviously big into comic books. I really love, all kinds of art.
I wasn't sure at the beginning, too. I used to draw, high school, all I did was art.
Yeah.
That was all my thing. That's what I was known for in high school, and then I didn't draw for years, and it was, I kind of chalk it up to, severe depression that I went through for a long time. If I don't have the right mental health space, I can't create things. My brain won't let me.
No, absolutely. I've talked about that before. I totally agree, man. It's hard.
So, but I started drawing, when I started drawing again, when I wanted to do this, it just came flowing back. And I almost brought my sketchbook to show you, but I bought a portfolio and I filled it in 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never filled a portfolio before, ever in my life. I have half portfolios here and there that I had throughout the years, but never filled one. And I was so excited when I got through it, and I still, I'll go through phases where in a week I'll do 20 drawings. And it's crazy. It's amazing. It feels really good.
It's passion, buddy. It's passion. It's good to have, and you gotta stick with it, man. Don't let paying your bills, the 9 to 5 fucking distract you from the things you actually want to do. And we were talking about this earlier, that's the kind of plus side of this pandemic, is that put a lot of things in perspective for people.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to me to think that some people never find that,
yeah.
And just go their whole life just, for a lack of a better term, being part of the machine. I mean, we're all part of the machine, but they just never have that one thing that they're excited to wake up for every day, you know? And I'm glad you found it, man.
Thanks. It took a long time for me to not put a lot of my passion into whatever job I had.
Mm-hmm.
Being a chef comes with a lot of ego, so it fueled me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But once my kid was born, it just changed everything. I still struggle with ego,
mm-hmm.
but ego as in I struggle with it as a it kind of holds me back. I can when I'm able to let go of my ego, things just kind of flow. Things just kind of happen, which is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. But even I still cook. I'm a prep cook, I'm prep sous. But I just go in and do my job and come home. I don't have any emotional value investment into it. I just do my job and I go home. And as much as that's not something I need to brag about, but I've never been in a position in my life where I didn't have an emotional investment in my job,
mm-hmm.
where it affected me outside of work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great feeling. Everything in my life outside of that job is more important to me than what happens in that building.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't stress about it.
Yeah, that cooking was at one point something that I had a lot of passion for. I think Moxie's has a lot to do with killing some of my passion. But I mean, man, I think if I'm not blaming Moxie's, because if I really had that passion, Moxie's wouldn't have killed it. And that's the thing, you know?
Well, and that's the thing too. Like depending on what you define as passion when it comes to cooking, like creatively working in a place like Moxie's or any corporate environment, it's not gonna be conducive because you have to follow recipes.
Yeah.
And like when I was kitchen manager with Jack Astor's, I used to joke when I was hiring people that I didn't have an emotional connection to the menu. I didn't give a crap if we sent the bow tie pasta out to the guest and they didn't like that there was sun-dried tomatoes in it. Did we put the 13 sun-dried tomatoes in the pasta? Did it go out correctly? Okay, cool. What do they want?
Yeah.
I didn't care. Where even at where I work now, which is a fine dining steakhouse, it's still corporate. So I didn't create the recipes. I make the recipe the way it's supposed to be done. If someone doesn't like it, if the chef tells me he wants me to adjust it, I'll adjust it. If he doesn't, I just keep making it the same way that I'm supposed to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you come up with, I think you've done some specials, daily specials or weekly specials or some stuff like that.
The last job, where I was just before this one.
Oh, okay.
I was like, there was a chef's special every week. So, and my buddy was the chef there and I was his sous. And especially when it came to anything vegan or vegetarian, he didn't want to do it. So he let me take the hold on it. But within the first couple months I was there, I had 3 things on the menu, which was pretty cool. That never happened to me before. So.
Yeah, I'd like that opportunity. I enjoy still cooking at home, don't get me wrong, but yeah, what you were saying about ego though, I think that goes for me too. I feel the same. Like I also feel that like the world has some way of checking you, you know, and putting you in your place. Like I was saying, like Kevin fucking up my ribs, like, you know, and even at like, you know, I started Muay Thai maybe like August, and by like the 3rd day, you know, it was like I had the confidence of Bruce Lee, but the skill set of Bobby Lee. You know what I mean? It wasn't a good look, and I don't know. It's just the world has, you know, its way of checking you and letting you know, like, hey, like take a step back. Don't get excited. So I just have faith that those things will happen and try not to get too in my head. I've dealt with depression a lot through my life, so, you know, my confidence can be really good one day, and then the next day it's like, oh God, like, why am I doing anything? I should just stay inside my room, you know?
Well, and then art, going back to that, that's exactly what would happen. If I would do a drawing and I would mess it up, I wouldn't touch a pencil for months and months, because my confidence would be shot. But now, like, and it was so happy that I got into this place where I mess up a drawing and just throw the paper aside and start it again. And like it's just a good feeling to not have that fear anymore. Fear of failure. That was a big part of what I worked through.
Yeah, it's really hard because failure is just a part of the process. Failure will make you better.
And like it was the driving force of success in my career, but also the thing that held me back the most. It's just a weird concept to think about. Like I used to tell this story for my first manager position with Jack Astor's, and I was 22. And they made me a AKM at Front Street Jack Astor's, which is a ridiculous store to work at.
Busy,
crazy. But my first shift alone, running a shift with no other manager there to help me. I was so cocky and I knew what I was doing more than these guys, and I'm going to show them. And I'm 22 years old, and I shit the bed. Like I did not prepare us, and we got smashed. And at 8:00 on a Sunday night, the GM had to lock the doors because we're out of so many things, and we were like, it was just a shit show. That they shut Front Street Jack Astor's down during the middle of a rush. So the kitchen could reset. And we reopened the doors at 10, so we had 2 hours to fix ourselves. And I'd started at 8 or 9 in the morning, and I stayed until 4:30 in the morning, re-prepping the restaurant, and I had to be back for 6 a.m. to do inventory. And I came back in, and chef said nothing. We did inventory. He sent me downstairs to do the punch in numbers and work on stuff, and later the opening grill cook told me this part of the story later, but he was in the walk-in with the chef. He's like, I heard what happened last night, like, what are you gonna do with Lance? And he looked at him and goes, look around this fridge right now. And he's like, what? Every single insert in this fridge has Lance's initials on it. Because he stayed, and I saw the cameras, he stayed until 4:30 in the morning re-prepping this restaurant so we didn't walk into nothing. So he messed up big time, but he made up for it. And he never wrote me up. He didn't sit me down. He just laughed at me, and we just went on. And I never, ever went into a shift unprepared again. Never. And that's what ego did that to me. And failure taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
And I was a chef or a kitchen manager of a restaurant, and I had a new AKM that was struggling, I would tell them the story to help remind them that we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all struggle, we all fall down, but it's what you do about it afterwards that defines you, not the mistake that you did. So I never liked punishing people. Like you did something really bad. Like I went and saw a buddy last night. Like he picked a kid up, put him in a sink, and turned water on him in a restaurant once. And like, you can't do that. Like, why are you making me have this conversation with you? But we all make mistakes. It took me, like, my sense of worth was like drastically connected to my success as a person in different, like, judgeable aspects of my life. So it took me a long time to get to a point where I didn't need people to acknowledge my success for me to feel value in myself.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. I feel like in any industry, though, like for people that are actually in it, like they're trying to make a career, or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a kitchen, but like, you know, working your way up the ranks, it's the shit you learn. And I think the more you're involved in an industry, the more you are... I mean, there's exceptions. Like, we can get into that in a minute. But the more accepting you are to mistakes because you've been there and you're understanding. You're like, oh, like, it's just part of the, you know, the process. But, you know, every once in a while you come across just egos that haven't been checked.
Yeah.
Like Matt. And it's just like, you can just tell. And... those are the kinds of people that I try to avoid, but it's hard, you know, because you got to pay your bills somehow, right?
Yeah, and not letting it affect you is hard too. Like, don't get me wrong, I still have days where I get really angry about it, but man, I just gotta find my center, you know.
That's it, man. Every day is its own battle, but you know, every day's a new day too. So, So I was watching. Well, actually, I don't think it was. No, I guess there was some sort of news clip, but I saw this article basically on Facebook, and it was talking about last meals for like famous chefs like Ramsay, Amanda Freitag, or whatever her name is. Just like you know, all the big names, even some, you know, people you don't know, but they're just you know, Michelin chefs, just really respectable chefs. Like from all around the world, and they were basically talking about their last meal, and I just thought a lot of it was interesting because it was, you know, these people putting out like $100 meals, and they just want like a cheeseburger and fries, you know, with some like mint chocolate chip ice cream as dessert. So I want to know what you would have as your last meal if you knew you were gonna die. Or let's say you were on like death row, you're about to get fucking electrocuted. You can get anything you want. What would it be? We can do, I guess, an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert.
I thought this was going to be a harder question, but as you were telling that story, it immediately popped in my head. I want appetizer. Okay, appetizers were never a thing in my family, so like we had family meal.
Yeah.
So I can't really categorize it per se in that way, but.
Well, do it however you want, man.
My grandmother used to make this corn chowder. Like, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to go to her house for lunch when I was in grade school. And she would make this corn chowder with peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce sandwiches. And and Joe Louis as a like the dessert snack. And as you're talking, I'm getting all this flavor in my mouth from her fucking corn chowder. And it was very basic, but I miss it. Like my grandmother passed years ago. And we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I miss it. Like, my grandmother passed years ago, and we were close, and I mi I haven't had a corn chowder since she'd passed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it cold or was it hot?
it was hot.
Yeah.
And she's the only one, and I tell people she used to make me peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce sandwich, and they think I'm crazy.
Yeah, it's an odd combo. Never heard of it before.
Yeah.
But I don't knock it, man.
But like, it has a very strong memory, and I think that's what I would want to eat is corn chowder, peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich with a Joe Louis on the side. And of all the things I can make in the world, like I was like, there are some nice meals I've had, but nothing but beat Grandma's cooking.
No, it's true, man. I agree. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to ask you this question, so I came up with it, but mine is definitely like, my Nana was born in Italy. I'm like second generation Canadian, and I just always got like just the best fucking Italian food in the world growing up. And I feel like, yeah, I'm trying to, all I can really think of is like lasagna. That's what I'm thinking, like my Nana's lasagna. And I only eat chicken now, but I mean, if it was my last meal, like my Nana made it with like ground beef and Italian sausage, like some ricotta, oh my God, yeah, I'd probably have that as a main. I don't, yeah, like from an Italian family, it wasn't really like, appetizer or anything for me either, I just did that because that's the standard, but we would just have like 20 courses. Yeah. Take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this.
I love eating that way.
But yeah, probably some lasagna and maybe some carrot cake.
Oh.
Yeah,
nice.
My Nana really killed both, She did mostly Italian stuff, but like she did other things well too. And like I remember her I was like a vegetarian for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't seen her for a bit. And the next time we see each other, I'm not eating meat. She's like, she just would always try like to give me things with meat. Like, what do you mean? Well, she tried to give me like turkey and be like, well, it's not meat. It's, this or chicken, it's poultry. Or she just always had some way to work around it. And it was like hard for her to grasp that I didn't eat meat. But eventually she worked around it.
All those European grandmas, like Christina's grandmother's Latvian. So just have some bacon. Like just have some bacon. It's okay. But this grandma, this is full of butter. It's full of butter and cream. I can't eat this. No, it's fine. It'll be fine. You're fine. It's like, oh, gotta love you because you just don't understand.
She would just do like weird things for me, like fucking. She would like steam a head of broccoli and then like parmesan it, like broccoli parmesan or like cauliflower parmesan. Like everything was just turning into like a version of a chicken parm and shit.
Yeah.
But I appreciated it. I appreciated her trying. Grandmas always make the best shit, man.
Yeah.
It's like you just can't teach certain things, No.
And that's where, like, between my grandmother and my mom, that's where I got my passion for cooking. Like,
bro. Yeah. Actually, to be completely honest, like I was like at a dark point in my life before I started Culinary. And I was dating someone and we had planned to have a baby. We talked about it. She became pregnant and then like she lived in a different city. Like we lived close. She lived in Kitchener. And I came back to Mississauga. I think I was living in Mississauga at the time. And while I was here, even though we talked about it, she kind of went and had an abortion.
oh.
Right? Like behind my back. And then after the fact kind of was like, yeah, I did this. And obviously it was like, I don't know, it was a rough thing for me. And I remember, this is probably, it's going to get dark. It was probably the darkest time of my life. And I remember legitimately, I made a noose out of like a cable cord, dude. And I fucking went and sat in a tree and I was like, just contemplating everything. Like, what the fuck? Am I just going to continue to live this life of bullshit and just go like, is this worth living? Like I just been through a lot of shit up until that point. And obviously didn't do it. It's kind of got to the point where it was like, well, if I'm not going to do it, I really got to fucking, I don't know, just start doing stuff, pursuing something and like really just trying to make myself happy. I just kind of ran out of excuses at that point. And I sucked it up through my whole life. I didn't really believe in therapy, and I kind of sucked it up and started going through therapy through like the region of Peel.
Therapy is the best decision I made.
And through my therapist, I got put into a pre-apprenticeship program, and I did that for about 6 months, and it was with a group of people, maybe like 15 people. We're all in the same program, and so we got like certificates and things like that, and it was originally supposed to end there, but a door opened to get a scholarship to Humber. It was originally supposed to be 1 year too. I ended up doing 2 years because we did really good after the 1 year, like our whole crew, and they were like, well, you guys are doing well. And so they paid for our second year, and it was kind of like, it was something I really only wanted to pursue because I was like, maybe I'll be able to come up with the recipes just with my knowledge and like my palate that my nana used to make. Because when she passed away, she lived in BC and I lived here, and we didn't see each other all the time, like maybe like once a year or something like that. And I don't know, I was going through a lot of shit before she died. Like her actually dying was also another reason that I kind of turned my life around. But I wish I got those recipes. But honestly, if I did get those recipes, I might not have pursued culinary. That's what I'm trying to really get at. It's a long fucking story, but I'm really trying to get at is that I started culinary school because I wanted to recreate what my nana fed me, you know? And I think I'm pretty close. She used to make this fucking chickpea chicken soup, man. And I'm like, I almost got it nailed, dude.
Dude?
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. When Christina gets me to recreate things that she tries, that she likes. And she's, like, we found out last year she was diagnosed autistic. So some of the particularities that she has make a whole lot of sense now. But she goes through phases where she really only wants to eat one thing. So, like, we had this chickpea dip at the restaurant I was working at pre-pandemic. It was amazing. And she wanted me to recreate it. So I had to figure out what was in it and how to make it. It was vegan. So
Is she vegan or pescatarian?
Well, she was vegan because it's dietary restrictions that caused her to had to be that way. Dairy, is the big one.
Okay.
Red meat didn't agree with her, but she's okay now. She'll have a steak now and again now, which is good because she needs iron. She'll eat eggs now, which she wasn't before. But we still mostly eat vegetarian and vegan at home. We just find other ways to get protein. Like TVP is a staple in a lot of our meals. And I found really great ways to use it. It's pretty versatile. I don't really like soy chicken or anything like those types of things. The texture and consistency doesn't work, and she doesn't like the texture of it either. So figuring those things out was difficult, but it's been a good challenge. But she, like the chickpea dip, I had to figure out the recipe and come up with it, and it took me 2 or 3 tries, but I figured it out, and now she loves it. So I'll make that, a batch of polenta, and we got an air fryer, so I'll fry the polenta and make it.
Air fryer, eh? Everyone got a fucking... It's either you got an air fryer or a fucking dog over the last 16 months.
Yep.
I got a dog.
We're allowed to get a dog, so we got the air fryer.
I have a deep fryer, but to be real, I haven't used it in like over a year.
It's the maintenance. We talked about it, and we talked about getting a deep fryer because of things like this, but like she doesn't like heavy oil in things, that she doesn't agree with it.
Yeah, well, it's not healthy either, right?
And then she was Googling air fryers, and she wanted to get one. She found one she liked, so she got one.
And what do you think?
I like it.
You do, eh?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's not. You can't think of it like a fryer, but it works really well. There's a bunch of different things we'll use it for now. Like last week, we used it almost every day. Like even making the polenta has been great. Like polenta's not super nutritious, but you can add things to it.
Yeah.
But it's easy, so. But it's been great.
Right, dude. So every month I get this fucking Tokyo treat box.
Oh, look at that.
It's all these fucking cool snacks from Japan. You can pick one, and I'll pick one. Fucking, some of them will be familiar flavors, some of them not.
I don't know what this is, so I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, no, it's right here. It's fucking, something right there. Fucking, Lucky Corn Tasty Salt Flavor. They always have the weirdest fucking names. Happy Whiskey Chew. You know, just like fucking weird ass names. I think they kind of look like corn pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we giving it a go?
And I'm just gonna fucking pick some of these Kit Kats. There's always Kit Kats, like 1 or 2 and everything. These are like pudding flavor.
I can open this thing.
Hey. And I guess we can start our top 5.
All right.
Start with fast food places. I thought this would be a good question to ask a chef.
Salty and sweet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me try. Let me see this.
Kind of reminds me of like a sweeter nutritional yeast.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a corn pop, but it's a lot lighter. A lot fluffier. It's like a mix between a Cheeto and a corn pop.
Yeah.
It has the sweetness and the corn flavor of the corn part or pop, and then like the lightness of a Cheeto. Not big on Cheetos.
No?
That bright orange color freaks me out, man.
Yeah, I won't really go near them. I don't. The consistency and the flavor of them kind of gross me out a little bit.
No, like, there's no way. Like, where does that bright orange fucking glow in the dark color come from? There's no way that's good for you.
Orange dye number 16.
These aren't bad. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. I mean, they're not bad. I wouldn't say they're bad, but I definitely couldn't see myself eating a lot of them.
Maple.
It does taste a little mapley, eh?
I was not expecting that.
It's okay. White chocolate is like, I can only have a little bit of it at a time.
Agreed.
But yeah, dude. I guess I'll start off with my top 5 for fast food places. My number 1 is like easily the most hated on, I think, of all fast food places. And like, I just want to say, like, I wouldn't say any of this is healthy food, but it's definitely stuff I eat because it's convenient. Taco Bell, number 1.
All right.
Yeah, it gets a bad rap, but again, I only eat chicken, and I want to think that their chicken is of a higher quality than the beef. I don't know, but I want to think that, you know?
All right.
Even when I was a vegetarian, they were good because they had just the bean options.
Yep.
The beans were probably bad, but, I mean, they're fucking beans.
Yeah.
I don't know. Taco Bell's my shit, though, dude. When it just came out on Uber Eats over the pandemic, which is another good thing that happened over the pandemic. It's not all bad. And like the first time, I think I spent like $60. Yeah, bro, no joke.
Taco Bell.
I went hard, yeah.
That's a lot of Taco Bell.
There's delivery for like $5 delivery fee, whatever, you know, but like 50 of that was easily food.
Oh, wow.
My number 2, A&W. They like promote like hormone-free chicken, and that's that's cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be, if I'm gonna eat fast food, to go on the healthier side. I again wouldn't say they're healthy, especially since I always get their gravy on whatever I'm getting.
Yeah.
KFC's my number 3.
All right.
Big chicken guy. I think they catch a lot of hate.
I can't do it.
You know?
The spice blends
Yeah?
gives me a headache.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Their big seller for me is the gravy. I think they have the best gravy in the world. When I was in high school, though, there was a big campaign that I was actually on board with for a bit because it kind of exposed a lot of what the chicken farmers were doing to the chickens that, you know, or where KFC got their chickens from. And I was for sure, like, I'm not, like, for what they do. But as time went on, I just realized that wasn't exclusive to those places. No. That's fucking everywhere. That's all meat plants. That's just how it is. They're not, you know, they're not treated as animals. They're a product. You know what I mean? So I kind of, there was maybe like a 5-year period where I was like, fuck KFC. And then I just was like, oh, I'm so happy I've been able to rationalize being able to eat it.
So that's 3.
So that's 3. Harvey's number 4.
Okay.
And Jollibee, which is basically the Filipino KFC, is my number 5.
I've never had it.
There's one really close, so I've had it a few times. They're pretty decent, man.
All right, top 5. First one I'm gonna put as Firehouse Subs. There's one in Guelph, and they're a little on the pricier side in terms of how subs go, but they're amazing. And I love sandwiches, so there's not really any cool sandwich places that I've found in Guelph, but Firehouse Subs is great. Number 2, you said it, I didn't even remember it, but A&W. Like, I've been in love with A&W for years. It'll, like, if I have a choice, if I'm driving anywhere, I'll go to A&W. I love their Buddy Burgers. The caramelized onion on them. 3, I'll go with Harvey's. I like the fact you can customize your burger so easily. It's not a hassle. And they have spicy sauces.
I also have fond memories of them as a kid. Like my Nana always used to take me. That was like her favorite place. And they always used to have these like really cool like neon sunglasses. Literally every time like I went, I got a new pair. I had like fucking 24 of them.
4, I'm just gonna generally speak of sushi places. Ontario, BC ruined sushi for me in Ontario because in Vancouver, the quality of sushi out there is just unreal. Like, and
well, you can actually get fresh fish there.
Yeah, I was calling bullshit when I went out there. I'm like, there's no way it's that different. Like, it's fucking rice, it's fucking seafood. Like, like this shit isn't complicated. Like, it can't be that much better. I was wrong. I was so wrong. And I used to go. There was a place around the corner from where I lived in Vancouver, and I used to go there 4 times a week. It was cheap too. It was a great fast food option. I haven't found anything in Ontario that I can say all right, this is good, but lots that are good enough.
Decent, yeah.
So I'll just, generally speaking, I'll say sushi.
Okay.
And number 5, I was at 5, that was 4.
That was 4, yeah.
4. 5. I'm gonna have to put McDonald's into it, just because of how often it happens. And with their curbside pickup option that they did during the pandemic, I hope that never goes away, because I love being able to pull up, use my app, order, sit in my car, and wait for them to bring it to me. So I don't actually have to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I love that option. So, it's not great. I know it's not good for me, but it is probably the most common takeout that we get. Domino's, like, it will be an honorable mention too.
Domino's. I think of the chain pizza places, Domino's is one of the best.
Just the app, you get points. I get free pizza, so I can't complain.
All right, dude. Board games is the next one, and this could also include like card games like Magic or whatever you're into. You know, it's not specifically board games. I don't know how to even group board games with those. One of mine is fucking Jenga, so I mean that's not a board game.
Yeah. I laughed when I saw this on your board because I openly hate board games.
Oh, you do?
But
you should have told me.
No. I thought it was funny. It was a great conversation part, but I mentioned that I play Warhammer. Yeah. So I thought I could put that into the category anyways. But like Warhammer, any tabletop miniature game, I enjoy anything like fantasy related. You said Magic as an option. I love Magic. I hate playing it competitively. I think the guys who play Magic competitively are super aggressive, and they scare me sometimes when I'm playing. I played in a couple. Like I have buddies that are really into it, and I've played in tournaments with them. And I'll play first time I did it with them, I played 1 round with a guy, but the cards are worded complicatedly sometimes, especially the older cards, so I don't understand them, and I don't care if people see my cards as I'm learning. So I'm like, can you just explain what this card is to me? I might want to play it, but I don't know what it is, and I don't care if you see it. I don't care if you win this game. They would get so mad at me. The first time I did win in a tournament, I paid my fee. I got I got in. I played 1 round. The guy was so rude to me, and I was like, I'm done. Like,
wait, so you have to pay to compete?
If there's a tournament, yeah, like because it's a money.
You can win. Yeah, okay,
I got cash prize at the end. So, and it depends on so there's different kinds of games. But one of the more fun games that I play is that you sit at a table and they buy a box of cards. They have like an unopened box of cards, and you take turns opening a pack and passing the deck around, and you get to take one card as you go. So you build a deck based on what's in this box.
Okay.
So you don't come in with this pre-built deck that has like secret cards from 20 years ago that you play the card and everybody dies.
Yeah.
Which also infuriates me. But Magic as a company is starting to put bans on cards now.
Okay.
So like those cards that were printed incorrectly and worded wrong, where like it wasn't intended to do this, but because we worded it this way, you can use it this way, have been banned.
Okay.
Which has been made the game more enjoyable for me because I'm not super competitive about it, but some of the big Magic nerds I'm sure are upset about it.
That's gotta make those I imagine some of those cards get sold for quite a bit.
Yeah, they can be high value.
So what's your top 5?
So I'll go with Warhammer. I more paint the models, but I do enjoy the game. Magic, number 2. I will put Monopoly as number 3. I do enjoy playing it. Christina doesn't like Monopoly, so it's not one that gets played, but I do enjoy playing it. Life, we play, actually, like Christina and I will actually play that. She always wins, but it is fun. That's number 4. Number 5, I'll go with Crazy Eights card game.
Crazy Eights.
We played best 7 out of 12 or whatever it is.
13?
13, yeah. She always wins, but it's fun. We get super competitive.
Do you do the countdown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get super competitive and we start yelling at each other. It's hilarious. It's one of the few times where we like trash talk each other.
Your mother never should have had you.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And then at the end of it, we love each other.
Yeah.
Because she always wins. So.
My number 1, you might not be able to tell, but I'm a fucking huge chess nerd. Like I fucking love chess, dude.
Yes.
I love chess. I picked it up maybe like 10 years ago, and well, maybe a little longer. I learned how to play, but I didn't really enjoy it in the beginning.
I played for years. I love it. My brother tries so hard to beat me, and this is part of why I guess I forgot about it. Is I'll play people, but I know some tricks as there are tricks with the game, but I win a lot.
Yeah.
So like with my brother, he's very susceptible to the four move checkmate. So
fuck, man.
He gets so mad because he'll talk trash to me that he's been playing with his friends for so long, and then I'll just use that on him, and he'll forget about it because he always does, and then
I've only had that happen once to me, and then ever since I've been on guard, bro. Yeah. Never again, dude.
Yeah.
Never again. I always try to play with people that I consider better than me, just because it's not fun. To me, if the person's not as good, like my girlfriend wants to learn, and I'm like, yeah, I'll totally teach you, but I'm like dreading it. Like I will, but it's more fun when I have... when there's a level of difficulty, when this person knows how to strategically move their pieces and stuff like that, and I can learn from them too. I like being able to like that, like I said, that 4-move checkmate. Never again, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know your brother. You said.
Yeah.
I don't know how he let it happen so many times. Like
he's just very forgetful, and he plays his friends who don't know it. So he I don't know why he just doesn't memorize it and use it on them. But I also never taught him how to defend against it. He'll if he actually plays me more than once, because sometimes I do it and he just gets mad, throws the table, and won't play me. But if we play more than once, he'll learn the second time. Like he'll remember the second round and go, or I won't use it, but just so we can actually have a game. But
yeah, see, I don't like having to hold back. That's I guess the part of it that's not fun for me. It's like I want to fully be able to like get into it. That's why I like to play people. Like we should fucking go at it sometime.
Yeah.
Number 2 is I have this Trailer Park Boys game. You know Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah.
So it's essentially somewhat like Monopoly. You're supposed to basically sell dope and acquire a certain amount of money to be able to buy the trailer park.
Mm-hmm.
That's, the whole concept of the game. And it just has like fun Trailer Park Boys related cards. You get to buy like grow trailers and things like that. And it's it's just a lot of fun. I like getting a bunch of people. It's kind of hard now. There's not a lot of people that are super into board games, you know. But yeah, that's probably my number 2. Number 3, Scrabble.
Okay. I suck. I'm a terrible speller. So
my girlfriend is fucking ridiculously good at the game, man. It's so frustrating. And I think I beat her once out of like 30 times. And I'm still bragging about that one time, you know?
Of course. Gotta hold that way.
Monopoly, number 4. Again, it's like one of those games. Takes a long time to like actually get to the end of it. And I think it usually ends with someone being angry. You know? So a lot of people don't really like playing it. And then Jenga. Jenga's one of those games that's good because you could play against a 10-year-old and lose. It's just and I feel like younger kids are better because they don't have the nerves and they don't shake as much. Mm. Like the older I get, the more unstable my hands are. So you said your favorite actor was Ryan Reynolds.
He is.
Decent fucking choice, dude.
A big man crush on that guy.
You want to go through your top 5 Ryan Reynolds movies?
It's such a hard... You making me pick 5 was... I like him in everything. He's just so quirky, he's so weird, and I can't even think of a movie that he's in.
That you didn't like him in, eh?
Yeah. Like,
Did you see Pikachu, that one? Detective Pikachu?
I own it. Like,
oh, yeah, it's good, eh?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
And like he's the voice actor in it mostly. Yeah. He's physically in it at the end. But,
he is, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's hilarious. I mean, like having Pikachu voiced by Ryan Reynolds is like, who would have thought of it? But it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Top 5. All right. I am a big fantasy nerd, so Deadpool 1 and 2. I'll just throw right off the top.
First 2?
Yeah. Like, I haven't seen 3 or anything about 3. I'm waiting. So, but Deadpool. And I love him in like the weird rom-com roles. So like,
say it. Please say it.
The Proposal.
Oh, my dude, it's on my list too, dude. That's what I'm talking about. I love that movie. I'm a big Sandy B person too, bro.
I just watched it the other day.
That's a good one.
It's not Just Friends. What's the other one? He's a chubby guy in high school, and his bestie's in love with his best friend. And then he goes and becomes like a big.
That's not Just Friends?
Is it called Just Friends? I think it is.
I think it might be.
All right, we'll go with
that. I know the one you're talking about.
So that I'll put that as number 4. And then the Hitman's Bodyguard I thought was awesome.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and him in that movie it's awesome.
Yeah, I don't see how that could be bad, really.
No. And he's funny and it's action, like it's good. But even fucking I'll just throw out like he got a lot of flack for like Wolverine Legends for being like the Deadpool role that he.
X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still liked him in that.
Yeah.
He's still got the Deadpool persona, like it's great, and then and also like the Green Lantern, love that movie.
Oh yeah, eh?
Yeah, like a lot of people don't like it, but I like it. Like I don't know, like I didn't read a lot of DC comics or anything growing up, so I don't know any of the storyline about the original character of Green Lantern, like the Cal.
Yeah.
That character, so I don't know if him being that goofy, arrogant person was accurate portrayal, but I liked the movie. I thought it was great.
I don't think his performance is what. Like I thought he was decent as Hal Jordan. I thought he was decent as Green Lantern. I think the movie as a whole has some flaws. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say.
Yeah.
That was your number 5 though?
Yeah, no, that was like 7. So.
Oh, it's okay, dude. We could fucking go on.
Yeah.
There's one that's not on my list, and I'll even mention it before now. Have you seen Foolproof? It's like a heist movie. I just. It's older school, but it's good, dude.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I just saw it on a list that I wanted to watch yesterday.
I think that's the first movie I ever saw him in. But yeah, Deadpool number 1 is my number 1. Waiting is my number 2.
Yes, that one was good.
Solid.
Too. Yeah.
It's maybe one of the best kitchen movies ever.
Yeah.
The Proposal is my number 3. Sandra Bullock's fucking the shit, man.
Yep.
I really like her. Deadpool number 2 is my number 4. And Life is my number 5. Have you seen that?
I don't know.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal and they're astronauts.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh man, dude.
All right.
A lot of people have said like before I saw it, and obviously it's not true, but people were like, that could basically be a Venom prequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, really, if it's, you know, you could loosely tie it together. It's not, but I could see what they're talking about.
All right, I'll look it up tonight.
Yeah, dude, definitely check it out. Pop punk bands. I was actually excited to do this one.
I was.
Was it hard for you?
Yeah, there's so many. Like,
So many. Too many options, yeah. I knew you were big on the genre, and I really like it too. I think it's underrated.
And then I was like, because like pop punk, are we specifically talking pop punk or like any form in that kind of that general category?
Okay, so I'll go through mine, and it was difficult because when I started listening to the first two on my list, I never would have considered them pop punk. They I think started out punk. To me, like their first bunch of albums were punk. My number one's Green Day.
Yeah.
I think along the lines they
wouldn't put
they
them
just
pop
became
punk, but...
popular.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing, because I was like you, and I was like, whoa, like what exactly is this genre? So I'm like Googling shit, and I'm just kind of Googling the bands that I think are pop punk, that I really like, just to see what they fall under. And as like, you know, as I get to some other ones, I see that they're like, you know, pop punk, or they're considered like rock bands, and so I'm like, well, what is this? And I'm just kind of, so on Google it says that Green Day's pop punk. That's like one of their genres. So even though I consider them more on the punk side, you know, I think their newer stuff is... What is pop punk though? Like, what's pop? Is that just popular shit? Is that what is it?
I don't know. There was like in like the like mid to late 90s, early 2000s, there was like that whole phase of like Sum 41, Simple Plan, Good Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, and if you want to officially call it pop punk genre, that's the section of time where it's pretty basic chord progressions, pretty easy drum beats, but like kind of upbeat, almost goofy songs.
Less political than...
Some emotional, but usually not really to do with anything.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, it was like, it's kind of how my friends were at the end of high school. Like, you kind of just didn't give a shit about anything and just had a good time with your friends kind of music.
It's like it has that punk sound, but the lyrics are less serious. Yeah. That's generally how, you know, I categorize it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my number one's Green Day. My number two, again, just like Green Day, I think they started off punk, and as they became popular, their sound just became that genre, maybe unintentionally. The Offspring.
Okay.
It's my number two.
Really into them in the very beginning when they were first around.
Yeah, you know that they just fired their drummer.
Really?
Because he didn't want to get vaccinated. This is the world we're living in now, Mancito. Like, and here's the thing, like, I kind of understand. Like, if your band is your business.
Yeah.
Right? And you gotta be able to tour. And if the only way to be able to tour and make money is get vaccinated, I get why people would do that. I just think it's fucked up that we're at a point where it's like, you better do this or... My only
pushback to the world getting that upset about it is like polio and all this other stuff that we get vaccinated for is a choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's before the pandemic happened, there's a whole debate about the non-vaxxers, and like, there's cases of smallpox and there's cases of polio that have crept up in the world because people are stopped getting vaccinations, but we're not required to carry a certificate telling us that we have to travel with those vaccines, which were just as deadly, if not deadlier.
Right.
But we're now going to be forced to require to do that with this vaccine, and that part doesn't compute with me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just for most people it's just kind of, it's all new.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just new territory, and people are just kind of figuring it out as they go. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to approach it. I think it's just about what's best for you. Yeah,
and I agree with that. Like, I'm not gonna judge. I don't judge anybody that is concerned about the vaccine. The vaccine came out in 6 months or like 7 months. They produced it. Like, I understand that why people would have concerns. Like, we don't know the long-term effects of this vaccine.
Right.
Like, the polio vaccine's been around for almost 100 years. Like, of course we've seen the repercussions of what
there's way more knowledge. There's way more studies that have been done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, number two, Offspring.
All right.
Blink-182 is number 3. I would say as far as like straight up pop punk,
Yep.
they might be the best. Like I just said all the shit I said about Green Day and Offspring, but like Blink-182 has always been pop punk.
It's like a standard.
Yes. All American Rejects, number 4.
Really?
Yes.
That surprises me.
I like them, dude.
Okay. Saw them at Warped Tour years and years ago once, and they were terrible.
Oh, yeah?
But
never seen them live.
It was first album, like that part of their life. They weren't on
like swing era.
They weren't on the main stage or anything.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend at the time was really into them, and we went and made sure we saw them.
You were just like, fucking
like,
boo.
Wow. Like, it was just surprised me.
Yeah?
Like how off it was. Like they weren't in sync. I don't know if it was just, like they couldn't hear each other or what it was, but and unfortunately that's stuck in my brain.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They have a few hits that I enjoy. I had a couple of the songs on my playlist that will repeat, but like right now I'll skip them. Like if it comes on, I'll hit next.
Yeah, my number 5 is Sum 41, dude.
Okay. Yep.
I really like them.
Solid.
Maybe I think of probably the best. Well, I would say they're the best pop punk band coming out of Canada.
Yep, I would agree.
And then I was thinking about it, and I didn't put them on the list because when I look at their discography, they really only have what I would consider one pop punk album. But honorable mention to 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
They have like,
great album.
It's like every album they do is on. Granted, I haven't heard their last record, maybe like the singles or whatever, but like the first album was very industrial, hard, and then the second one was very like poppy, a little electronic, but like more pop punk. That was the one, A Beautiful Lie. That's what I would consider.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I just I love Jared Leto. I've seen them twice, and they have. I mean, if you don't like their music, you don't like their music. But I think they're great musicians, and I think that they're also great performers. Jared Leto's just like, he's made for that. If anything, I think he's more made for music than acting, and he's a great actor. So that
I very much enjoy 30 Seconds to Mars. I wouldn't put them in the pop punk genre.
No, eh? What would you say? Like alternative?
Alternative. Yeah. But I love their music. That like A Beautiful Lie, that album was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Kings and Queens, that particular song, it was my jam for like 2 years. It's on repeat.
Yeah.
For 2 years. Great band. All right, top 5. You nailed 3 of them. So but you can't talk about pop punk without talking about them. Because I think for our age category, you have to say it. But like Blink, Sum 41, and Green Day, like you have to talk about them. I don't really I listen to some Blink now. Still, I don't really listen to Sum 41 anymore. But you have to respect them.
Yeah.
I saw Sum 41 at the last Warped Tour in Toronto. Like we went when it was here, and it was just it was just the bass player and the lead singer. I think were
the original members.
Yeah, I think so. But it was still good. Like
yeah.
They were at the front stage. They still did a good job. The lead singer looks a little rough, but that's the life he leads.
Yeah, no, totally. He's just he's really bony. Let's just say that his face is very defined now. Like the years of drug use have caught up to him for sure.
But like he got the crowd going. There was a circle.
Still good, man.
Yeah,
I saw them. It might have been the same year. I saw them in 2019, I think. Yeah, with Grandson. Do you know Grandson?
Yeah, I love Grandson.
Grandson's dope, man.
Yeah. But I'm gonna throw a couple newer ones out there just because I'm listening to them, and one is hilariously surprising. He only has one album, and that's MGK.
Ah, yes.
It's a fucking good album.
Haven't heard it, but I saw you post about it a lot. I like it, eh?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. It's not long, but it's a good album. It's like I don't know. I read up on about why he did it, and he's wanted to do the pop punk genre forever, and
he's a fan of it, yeah.
Yeah, and he was doing his rap thing, and I was never a fan of his rap career, but this album is unreal. Like it's fucking awesome. And like,
is Travis Barker on all the songs? Like he's the drummer for the record, right?
I don't know if he's the drummer for all of it. He's definitely on some of them.
Yeah.
Because he only gets the like featuring Travis Barker on some of the songs.
Okay.
But it's fucking good. Like it's a good album.
Yeah, I know they're close. But just before you name another one, I want to talk about Machine Gun Kelly for a second because, like, I'm definitely gonna check the album out. I've been meaning to, and it just keeps slipping my mind. But I'll definitely check it out. The thing with him, again, not a fan really of his hip hop. Like you said, I've heard some of the punk stuff, and I'm interested in it. But I want to give him credit, and I don't know if you feel the same, and we can talk about it. People like to say that Eminem beat him in their little battle. I'm a huge fucking Eminem fan, all right? Like, huge. From the first record, I mean, his newer stuff is a little different, but I still respect him and appreciate what he brings to the table. Not an MGK fan, but I think he fucking beat him, dude.
I didn't even listen to what was going on with all of that.
I think he did better, man. People like to act like Eminem's undefeated. There's 2 battles that if you haven't heard them, definitely check them out. These are the ones that I would consider losses for him. The first one was against Everlast.
Okay.
You know Everlast?
Yep.
And then it was the Machine Gun Kelly one, man. I just think...
You think MJK?
Yeah, I think he cut deeper, and I think it was... for Eminem, like, there's expectations. You know, he's done this before. He's said basically everything you could say. I didn't have a lot of expectations for MGK. Like, obviously, you know, I'm holding Eminem to a higher standard. But even though they're at different standards, I just think that what Eminem did is just, like, it's typical Eminem. You know? Yeah. What Machine Gun Kelly did was, like, above what he normally does. And it was just... I think he went more personal, and I think his insults cut deeper.
I'll have to find it and check it out.
Check him out, man. Yeah. Everlast versus Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly versus Eminem.
All right, got it. Last one is a newer edition as well, but State Champs and
State Champs.
Yeah, I put them in there because I listen to them all the time now. But I saw them at that Warped Tour that I saw same when I saw Sum 41. I didn't know them. I didn't know anything about them, and I was just in the back watching them, and they're awesome. Like, and then I checked them out, and I love every album they've put out. Like,
how long have they been around?
I don't know. I haven't Googled to see what their history is, but they're still putting out albums right now, and they're young enough, and they were touring. But they're great. Like, they're well written. It's well put together. They're a good band.
I never heard of them. I'll fucking check them out, dude.
But then I was talking to Christina about these things, just like A Day to Remember and like all these other bands. Like, I'm not sure if it categorizes under the pop punk genre. We listen to them.
Yeah.
Then there's like, I got super into emo when I was younger too. So like I was like, I don't even know how to categorize these things anymore. I don't know how to go with this. Like, I used to get so funny when people would talk to me about, like, one of the first conversations you and I had was talking about music when I started working at Moxie.
It's likely.
Like, I don't even know how to categorize what I listen to.
Yeah.
Like, it's all over the place.
I want to mention too Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, yeah.
Are we saying they're pop punk? I think
one
maybe.
One album for sure.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
No. I would like what? Bleed American?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're like that album. I don't even know a lot of Jimmy Eat World, but that album specifically is just from front to back so good.
Yep.
It's like some bands I really only like I really only like one album. Fall Out Boy is another band from Under the Cork Tree. It's really the only album I like. A couple songs before, a couple songs after, but that album, again, front to back.
Yep.
Solid, man.
Yep.
There was a real good time, maybe like 15 years ago for pop punk. That's when it really blew up.
Yeah, that was all I was listening to at that time.
All right, dude. Let's finish off with a few of these each. See what we got here. If you come across one you don't want to do, just fucking don't read it out loud, and I'll do it for. Have you ever hooked up with someone just because of their accent?
No.
Never, eh?
No.
No, I can't say.
It's not something that draws me in.
What do you think is like the sexiest accent?
Again, it doesn't draw me in.
No,
like,
eh?
There's some that are like fun and interesting because they're funny. Like, Irish are funny, but but it doesn't draw me in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't really say. if like I find it attractive or not.
I don't know. Sometimes. I like Caribbean accents, British accents. I was like in fucking like Blue Notes one day, and this British guy was ahead of me, and he's like, obviously, you know, he's fucking British. He, you know, is talking fucking British, and the lady behind the counter is like fucking, and can I get your phone number, sir, for business purposes? And this guy looks behind. And like hits me on the arm. He's like, right, love, business purposes, you know. And fucking, I'm just like, this guy probably gets hits on so much just because he talks this way that he's just completely brushing aside like this beautiful woman, even though she's probably just trying to get it for business purpose. That's just where his head is. He's like, all right, I get it, like my fucking accent.
Yeah.
But I've never really been that way towards accents. Like, oh, get hard when I hear them talk. Nah, it's not really my thing.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, dude.
All right. Would you gain 100 pounds for $50,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
That's ridiculous.
I'd do it and lose it.
Who would? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fuck, man. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, dude. Absolutely. Alright, let's go. Okay. Have you ever drawn on a passed-out friend?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally.
What'd you draw?
All kind. I covered his legs.
Oh, yeah?
Like, he wasn't wearing shorts. It was pretty much from here down. I completely covered his legs. I don't even remember what we drew. It was my 23rd birthday, so that's a kind of a semi-epic story. So my 23rd birthday, I decided to throw myself a party.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a birthday party, so I was living with my best friend. We had a house. We just decided to do it. We bought like 60 cases of beer. Like I made burgers. Like we cooked. My birthday's on the July 1st weekend, so we're living in London. So the city's a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
My band at the time decided we just book ourselves a show. Easy to do on the July 1st weekend because no one's there. My friend's one of the guys in my band is a sound engineer for one of for a bar in London at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we booked in his bar. We go in. We're a nothing band that's never played a show. Just doing this for fun. We booked with two other friends that were in bands, and we go into this bar, and they have one bartender on because like it's July 1st weekend with a no-name band coming in and playing a show. But we put 250 people into that bar that night. And it was just a birthday party, so they were not there because of the band. They're there because it's the birthday party.
Yeah.
The bartender was so overwhelmed. I looked at her, I'm like, don't worry about it. Just pour pints of beer and shots when people are asking for them. Make sure they're paying you. Call your boss in if you need to. But it's going to be easy. Just keep pouring beer. Yeah. No one's going to get upset. And we had a great night. It was a fantastic night. Everybody got super drunk. We walked back to my place. The guy who's in my band was the sound engineer because he was doing sound, he was playing in the band, he was doing other things, he had to drive around equipment. So he wasn't drinking until he got back to the house, which was at like midnight, or a little after midnight. And he chugs a bottle of rum, basically, or whiskey. It was a bottle of CC, basically, in like 25 minutes. And he went from being completely sober to being throwing up and passed out on my couch within an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we drew on his legs from the thigh down because he was so drunk that he couldn't feel it. Poor guy couldn't get off my couch the next day. So like everybody, like a whole bunch of people, like it's one of those those scenes from a movie where you wake up the next morning and the front door's open, and the back door's open, and there's people sleeping on the front lawn, and there's people sleeping in the hallway, and there's people sleeping on the floor, and I woke up in my bed and there was someone laying on the floor and into my door frame, so I had to step over them to get out of the house. And like my brother's in the bathroom trying to clean it up because my buddy who chugged the whiskey projectile vomited all over the bathroom. So he's trying to clean it up before I got up. And he had parked across the street in the church that was across the street from the house, and it was a Sunday, so they needed him to move his van, but he couldn't move. He couldn't move off the couch the entire day. He just laid on my couch with a blanket over his head for the entire day.
Brutal.
But yeah, it was pretty. My friends still talk about that party. It's like none of us have ever done anything before or after like that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah, I feel like I I mean, I was definitely involved in drawing on some people, but the only thing that really stands out in my mind is, okay, so I was 15 or 16. I was living in my foster home, and me and my 3 foster brothers, we go to like a house party, and everybody's drinking, and I end up passing out. I probably did what your buddy, I used to have like, my way for drinking was I would get a bottle of like a 26 or whatever. I used to drink a lot of green apple Smirnoff. Mm-hmm. And so I would just like empty half of it in like a regular glass. And then I would have like a can of, and I would like chug the whole glass of vodka. And then, cause here was my thing. Like I didn't like drinking, but I liked being drunk. Mm. So I was like, I'm gonna get this over with quick. And I'm gonna just be this way. I'm not gonna have to sip on shit all through the night. And so that was like my mindset, and that's what I did like for, a few years until I fucking really got sober. And I passed out at this party. My foster brothers wake me up like a couple hours later, and they're like, "Hey man, like our cab's on the way. You got to get up. We're going home." And so like, get up. I grab my stuff, and basically go straight to the cab. And yeah, it's the 4 of us. And they make me sit in the front with the driver. And so, I'm chatting it up with the driver and shit. And we get home. And my foster dad, he's a Jamaican guy. He has, like, his friends over. They're all playing Dominos, making a lot of noise and stuff. And we knew all of them because they were over frequently. So I go in. It's probably maybe, like, 11. And I'm like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" And I'm saying hi to, like, my foster dad. His name's Winston. I'm saying hi to him and all his friends. Like, giving them daps and fucking high fives and shit. And I'm like, "All right, I'm fucking going to bed, guys." And I went upstairs, passed out, got up at like 3 a.m. I go to take a piss, and as like I flush the toilet, I look in the mirror. Bro, I got horns on my face, a dick at the side, like a mustache, a goatee, just like a bunch of like my face is covered. And then, like, so I take it off, and the next morning, I fucking wake up, my foster dad's like, "You're grounded, right?" And so I got like 2 weeks of grounding, and that's my story, dude.
That's straight, like that scene in like a teen movie when the kid gets drunk for the first time and they write on his face and he comes home, I had no idea. He's gone to school, "Hey guys, yeah, ha, great time last night."
I haven't seen that. Not another teen movie though?
Probably.
Is that what it is? Yeah, dude, brutal. Yeah, you can pick one, man.
Alright, my turn. Let's see. I'm not asking that.
That's fair.
Have you ever done a cake stand? It's boring, but
yeah. I'm not.
Did you succeed at it? I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I don't know if there's like a standard time that you're supposed to do it for, but like I did it for however long they fucking held me up for.
I can't chug liquids.
Yeah.
I can't even chug water. So like being upside down when trying to open up my throat enough to drink beer would not work. I can't chug water. Like I can't. I will throw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big beer person anyway, but yeah, I did it once. All right, let's do one more each and get out of here, sir. I feel like I did that one already. Come on, I want it to be a decent one. Let's go. Whoop! All right, this is the one. Right here. I really didn't read it before I picked it. Have you ever role played in the bedroom?
No.
No?
I had an ex that wanted to, she was an actress, but I'm too nervous. I'm too weird. I got too self-conscious.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly, I feel like I'm the same way. Like, when I first met my girlfriend, and like we were talking over the phone, like we live together now, but she lived in Vaughan, and we would like talk over the phone a lot, and she would just always want me to talk dirty.
Oh.
And I'd just be like, I don't know how. Like a little bit. It's way easier in person, when you can grab a titty or squeeze their butt or something, or whisper in their ear, but like over the phone, yeah, it was real weird. And role playing is just, I guess, an extension of that.
Yeah, I know. I make jokes now with autism being a normal conversation in our household. Like, it's my autism kicking in. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, like, it's like, there's no logic. So, because it's pretend, like, it's like, I don't understand what's happening. Right
Yeah. It's hard. It's got to be hard to really commit.
Is this good? Did you like that?
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, if that's what you're into. I don't know if I could get into it.
All right, this is not... No, it's too boring. I'll try to find that one.
Yeah, let's end on a good one.
All right. Would you amputate one of your fingers for $50,000? They like that number, $50,000. You can pick the finger.
Fuck, man. 50G. You know what, man? I don't think I would, dude.
No?
No. Maybe a toe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do my hand, man.
I don't know if I would do it for 50. If there was more money involved, maybe, and they could do like the Assassin's Creed finger, and then tell everybody I was an assassin.
Mm-hmm. Or have you seen the show Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal show. That lady gets her fucking pinky chopped off. Like, by her husband, basically. Oh my god. And then she wears that glove. When she has the gloves on, it kind of looks alright, but like, I couldn't imagine wearing a glove, or just not, I don't know. That would bug me too much. I like to think I'm not very, I don't know, shallow, but it's like, there's certain things, you know? Anyways, brother, I guess we can get out of here. If you want to, let these people know where to get at you. If not, it's all good.
All right, so Instagram is the best place, I guess. I'm at First Night Studio, like night as in Lancelot. Just add me. It's an open account, so you can just click add.
Boom. Do you know why I call you Lancito?
No.
Do you know where that's from?
No.
Yeah, so...
See, that's one of the most original nicknames I've gotten from someone.
Okay, so when we were working together, I don't know if you remember, I got obsessed with the O.J. Simpson case. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And the judge for the case, his name was Lance Ito.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two names, but, I put it into one. Yeah, that's basically why I call you Lance Ito.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
All right, guys. Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code PillowTalk to save 10%. And by The Great North Apparel. Hit them up and use code PillowTalk to save 30%. You can check out some merch at the link below. And see you in 2 weeks, guys. Peace the fuck out.